Hi everybody! So I'm doing a soul rebirth journey today. This is for Stephen. And Stephen is only requesting to be reborn today. And so we're just going to go into the journey. Stephen, thank you so much for your open-mindedness and willingness to share this session openly on YouTube. So for those of you who are new to my YouTube channel or the work that I do, a soul rebirth journey, it's 60-minute long session. I'm doing this right now as a distance spiritual healing session, so Stephen is not on the other side of this video. So I'm going to basically be closing my eyes here, entering into Stephen's spiritual atmosphere, and we'll see what all the energy imbalances look like, and we'll transform those imbalances. We'll learn a little bit about Stephen's soul, and then it's a powerful transformation. Soul rebirth journey is a powerful rebirth of your energy structure, your spiritual identity. It can purify, it can clean up soul fragments, it can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm just gonna relax and get cozy. Stephen, thank you again. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you today. So I'm just gonna relax here. I'm going to move my microphone just a little bit closer because sometimes I talk softly and I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay. Maybe not that close. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm getting connected with my spirit guides, higher self. Getting connected with your spirit guides and higher self. Getting connected with the angelic realms. With very beautiful, vibrant, interdimensional beings that love you. That love me. That love humanity. Getting connected with God consciousness and heaven. Getting connected with Mother Earth. Experiencing a connection with the infinite universe. It just feels really sad right now. Feels really dismal and sad. It feels like I'm down in the dirt. I feel kind of shook up about it. There's a really dense energy and it's pure, it's like a clear color. I can feel the density, but I can't see how dense it is, but I can feel how dense it is, and it's really weighing you down. It's interesting because it's not like you're cut off, as in you're living inside an aura or an orb that I can't get through. I can reach my hand inside, and it's just like, ooh, what's this goopy, clear, gooey stuff? That's what it's kind of like right now. Sometimes I'm like knocking on it. Can I come in? But yours, it's open, but there's so much density here. Being open is actually what balance is. We should all be open. If we close ourselves off, we can even close ourselves off from angels and from heaven and from positive, loving things. Because fear makes us feel closed off. But Stephen, you're not necessarily closed off, but there's a lot of junk in here. And you need to feel radiant. You need to feel radiant inside and out. Feel like the heart is beating really fast right now. It's kind of hard to catch my breath kind of feeling. I feel frustrated about something. I will just tell you what the image looks like. I see you in a metal chair that looks kind of like a dentist chair, but it's all metal. There's a spotlight that's kind of coming down and creating a circle around you in a space that's like, I don't know. Is it made out of cement or something? It's kind of a coldness to it, and it's dark around the edges of it, but you are the center of attention. It's very confusing. You're worried about the spotlight moving. So right now it's just sort of like coming down, just like it's just lightly coming down, but you're afraid that the spotlight could actually move and now be shining in your face and it's gonna get too hot, and it's gonna burn and it's gonna hurt. Right now, though, it feels like the light it is in a comfortable place. It's not burning, but still, this is very an anxiety experience because it could change. It could get worse. It could get way worse. But right now, it's just like this, and I'm hoping it'll stay like this. But there's this sort of like, but why are we putting this as what life balance is? If life balance can stay like this, I could tolerate it. But if life balance changes, which I'm afraid that it is going to change, or it could change at any time, the spotlight's gonna be too on me, and it's gonna be too hot, and it's gonna hurt. But really, what we're asking is, it's time to stand up, and it's time to say fuck the spotlights. Time to get out of this. Time to get out of here. Time to move on from these energy friends, kind of thing. These are energy friends. I would call them not negative entities or things like that, because energy friends really suck. When they want to put you in a situation where you don't feel happy. And you can say no to energy friends at any time. The challenging part is figuring out how to say no in a way that you feel confident it is heard and respected, and it's done. The door is closed, and now you can move on from that. So people say negative entities. In this case, I would call these energy friends. And you're worried that your energy friends could amp this up at any time and make this way worse. And you're hoping that they won't. You're hoping that it could just stay like this. But you don't. It just does not feel like there's hope of getting out of this. And so if there's no hope of getting out of this, then hopefully it just stays this bad instead of way worse. We gotta go deeper. This is really a conversation about what would be on the negative entity level, what would be on a spiritual, like a psychic attack level, and on a not fun level. I have to get you out of this. Like I see you there. I feel sad to see you there, but I can't fill your shoes. I can't live your life for you. Your soul is making the choice to have this complicated, complex, interdimensional experience. Okay. I've been sending a lot of like signals with keywords, but it's just not saying anything back to me, just to the universe. So like the positive realms, they're not responding to any of that stuff. For instance, has Stephen been going through this for so long that it's kind of it's rewired his mental his perceptions to the point that the experience now is the truth, and the truth now is, so in a way they've brainwashed you, because people who have had what would be a psychic attack or negative entities type of experience, and it lasts a long period of time, so you forget what normal feels like, it can rewire your programming, and it's so jacked up. The whole thing is so jacked up, and they're gonna brainwash you into feeling like there's no way out of this, because it hasn't made any, there hasn't been any change, so to speak. I haven't found the freedom to be myself again. So I'm like, it's even worse now, kind of thing. I'm stepping into what is this room with the spotlight, and I pop what is a disgusting bubble around you. It's just a black bubble, and I just pop it. I go become like 1,000 tiny little ants, and I find where the light is, and I just take the light apart. I'm just turning out the light, but there's nobody standing in here. It's a surprising thing. The consciousness says energy friends. The consciousness says interdimensional beings. The consciousness says these things. But this place is actually the only person here is you. And you still feel like the spotlight is on you. You're so freaking loved, Stephen. Oh my God. Like, that is some of the best that, like, when I have that energy experience, when I do work for people, I freaking love the spirit realm and the universe when they do that, because I feel it inside myself how freaking loved you are. It doesn't matter how jacked up the experiences can be, as soul learning can be so flippin' hard, but no matter what is going on, you are so loved. It's so off of the charts of this world, because we don't know what love like that feels like, because we don't love each other that way, and we don't even love ourselves that way. So when we feel it from the spirit realm, it's so freaking genuine and it's pure, and it's like, really, I am loved? If I'm loved, then why is this happening? They have to accept that this is your soul choice, actually. This is your soul learning journey, and this learning journey is actually giving you a certain tweaking ability that is going to help you for all of time, past, present, and future, because there is no time, right? So all of the timelines of your soul's experience are upgrading through this extreme event or extreme experience. But it's hard and it sucks right now. But there's just so much freaking positive energy. You're learning some hardcore stuff, and I can feel how that is really in the, like, I can feel how it affects the mental body. But I'm not experiencing anything like loud calamities and lightning bolts or crazy stuff. It's pretty quiet. I mean, it really is pretty quiet. But it's sort of like there's like a post-traumatic stress, you could say, because there's still concern, there's still anxiety of what might happen, or it could get way worse. So staying in the memory of fear is what post-traumatic stress is. And how do you actually get out of that? How do you break what is a rewiring, a fear-based rewiring of your mental understanding and processes of things? It's freaking hard. It's very, very hard. Because it imprints, it brands it into the soul itself, and the soul now remembers. So it's hard to conquer that. You conquer it every single day by experiencing positive things every day and really taking notice of the positive stuff. It's hard in this world because the frequency sounds, we think about negative things 10,000 times a day, and we think about positive things 5 times a day. But now it's time to think about positive things 10,000 times a day, and negative stuff, we just don't think about negative stuff. I know it's like really impossible advice, but anybody can do it. You have to do the impossible, which is just care. Like, just, you're going to be like a crazy person, positive, 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 positive. Look at everything that is positive like a psychopath. It's a happy world full of Care Bears, love, rainbows, and joy. The flowers are singing a song of love to me. The trees are harmonizing with my energy field. I am connected with Mother Earth, and she is sending love into my form. I am free. There's just so much stuff, like just constantly fill the experience with stuff like this. Even when you're not in the driver's seat, having to force it down your throat, positive stuff, because it can be hard or overwhelming or feel like it's too much. But I'm telling you, 3 months of spoon-fed positive stuff every day, 10,000 times a day, you will be a different person in 3 months. But watching really positive movies, kids movies like Ariel the Little Mermaid, I don't care what anybody says about Disney, Ariel the Little Mermaid is freaking awesome. And Ariel the Little Mermaid is jam-packed with love and harmony and music that awakens our inner child and frees our spirit and reminds us about how beautiful life can be, and how we can face our fears like Ariel did with Ursula. And to follow our heart does not mean anything negative. It means something positive. It seems bad, but it really is good because it's making us stronger people. Like Ariel, she becomes such a strong figure after her life experience. But positive movies, positive music, Rest, Relax, and Relaxation Reiki, awesome YouTube channel. All you have to do is just push play. And just allow the Reiki to flow. That's what Lourdes will tell you. Just let the Reiki flow. Just let the Reiki flow. It totally works. So they're just like beaming ideas into your head, Stephen. Spirit realm, positive ideas, okay, that you can work with. Because this is still what is this energy space? It's really connected with the mental body, really connected with the head region. There's a little bit of emotional because the emotions are sad, the emotions feel anxiety, but it's really connected with the mental body region. But again, it's really quiet in here. Where is everybody? I've disconnected the spotlight so there's no light on you, but there's just... It's interesting because without light, you feel scared as well. You feel like the light protects you, but the light could get way worse and burn you. The light is evil, but without the light, it gets even worse in the dark. So this version of light is actually burning you or hurting you. But there's fear that without the light, I'll be shrouded in darkness, and I'll be even more easy to attack. So this is what I'm seeing right now, because I just dismantled this light, and now you're just sitting in what is like the bask of like a bluish color light that it's just dimness. It's just a dim room. It's just a shadow-esque room, but there's some light. I can see that it sort of looks like a inside of a castle. It's cold stone walls, and you're just sitting in like a metal chair. Kind of like a dentist chair in the way that it's sort of structured, I suppose. Again, the frequency of "you are so loved" comes through. So in this chair you sit, and you notice that your hands are connected to the chair and you can't get up or out. You take a deep breath and you know that it's going to happen again. It always happens when it gets dark. You feel like you're like what would be, this is going to sound really messed up, but I've heard that in some Native American tribes, if you went against the tribe, one version would dig a big hole and put you in it, so only your head was sticking above the ground, and then they would put honey all over you, and you would be eaten alive by animals. Your head would be eaten off by animals. So it feels like you're bait and you're about to get attacked and ripped to shreds. So you're just live bait right now. That's what this feels like, live bait. But for some reason, you take a deep breath, you know what's going to happen, and you're just preparing yourself for what is going to be a long night, a painful experience. It's going to suck, but it seems more like you're more adjusted to it, and so you're able to tolerate it better, I suppose. You can't get out of the chair. Take a deep breath. A cap actually now goes around your head from the chair itself. You tell me that they're programming things into your head. They're doing things behind your eyes. It's interesting because a version of me, this is me acting out what your experience is. This is like your consciousness showing me. I just start ripping your body apart. Like I'm ripping into your flesh, ripping out your lungs, like your rib cage, shredding you. I mean, I'm literally taking a hand and just taking chunks out of you and throwing them and just ripping you apart. In one version, while the other one, you're just sort of sitting in the chair, just sort of like as they like send information into your head and they do things behind your eyes. It's what your consciousness tells me. You really feel like you do not own your own body, that your body now is owned by somebody else or some people. and now you are a student in their classroom, and in their classroom they are upgrading your frequency. So we would have an energy download. My energy downloads are all about wisdom and positive energy and the truth of mankind and human ascension. But your consciousness is saying the energy downloads are teaching me all kinds of jacked up shit, and they're reprogramming me. Never once, Stephen, do you look at them. Nobody is actually in here, but an event is taking place, an energy event is taking place, but you are open to it. But it feels like over an extended period of time, you just adjust to it because you've tried to fight back, you've tried to conquer this, tried to get this to go away, but it feels like it's not going away. So now we're going through an adjustment or a period where we're going to get used to it so we can tolerate it better, so we can still live a normal life. This sucks. This is like the suckiest thing ever. There's something you're not doing though, Stephen. You have got to say, wait a second, because you have the power to take these off, okay? And just simply say, wait a second. You need to look at them. You need to, in your energy body, actually walk to a space, an energy space. I teach people how to do this. I've got videos on Patreon for psychic development that actually teach you how to move your energy body into another interdimensional space that is also interconnected with your body. I mean, you can do anything with these techniques. This is what I do for a living. This is me teaching you how to do what I do for a living, and you would benefit from this. But it teaches you how to start working with your energy body to actually move out of your body, not astral project, because you're still going to feel human, but you're going to move like beyond, you're going to have a human body and an energy body. But you're not really paying attention to the human body. You just want to see where the energy body takes you. Energy body is, you're going to ask your heart. This is me giving you step by step on how to do this. But you're going to ask your heart. You're going to sit down and relax, okay? You're just going to sit down and relax. And you're going to say, I am going to go into an energy space so I can get to the other dimension where these beings are, and I can actually face them, and I can say no to them personally in their own space. Because if you can't say no to them personally in their own space, you're going to be human about it, and being human about these things, there's something about it. There's something about it. You can go a step further and have way more success when you step out of your body, go to their space, and start learning about them without judgment, without anger, without emotion, without fear. It's okay if you feel fearful on the inside, but you stand your ground and you say no. And they actually, you'd be surprised how many of these energy beings would respect you for that. Believe it or not, energy beings, some of them will actually respect you for having the balls and the courage to face them. And out of respect, they will move on. And that would be the most shocking thing. I feel like they would respect you, Stephen. Because oddly enough, there's a reason why I'm calling them energy friends. Because energy friends teach us how to become stronger people. They teach us how to face our fears. They teach us how to go above and beyond anything we've ever done before. Where you've been a human being, now you're a psychic human being. And now you're taking your power back. You're taking your body back, you're taking your life back, and you're learning so much from this education than any other human being on the planet. Like, very small percent of human beings on the planet have this type of education, which makes you even more powerful and more valuable because you'll be able to help other people in the same situation. I'm listening, your consciousness, everything keeps bubbling, like another bubble, like sending bubbles outward. It's very dizzying. It's actually inspiring you to resist what is a controlled experience. And when you resist, it feels like things tighten up more. Things, it becomes even harder for you to be allowed to have the freedom. So it's like the octopus or the snake or whatever gets squeezes tighter. So it's even harder to breathe, and it's even harder to accomplish this. And your consciousness, even thinking about it, is sending out rings of information. They're picking up on it, and they're like, no, we can't lose you. You're our feast. You're our human food. And we need to squeeze tighter so we can consume more of your energy. So as you can see, if you work with them, they make life tolerable, but they totally don't make life tolerable at all. They make life suck. But if you try to fight back against them, then they are going to make this 10,000 times worse. So what do? You learn how to go directly to them in the energy space, and you say, fuck this. I am going to go face them no matter what they do. No matter what they do. You got to go face them, and you got to say no. And boot them out. And you can get your body back. The problem is, the longer you put up with this, the further away from a memory of what normal feels like you're getting, okay? All right. There's an energy shifting change, so I need to go see what's up here. There's something not nice going on here. I get the pleasure of experiencing a little bit of what's going on with you. It's hard to see. It's like black everywhere. It's hard to see. I'm gonna just gravitate. I just need to gravitate. Wow, I'm doing amazing things for you right now, Stephen. That love energy is enough to pop that top off of your head, and this whatever is around your neck. It's powerful enough to bring the light back into your heart. It's powerful enough. Just me choosing to share love with you, you choosing to receive love, that is powerful enough to, get you unjarred from this. That actually was a powerful reaction. It was just like, what the freaking heck? It made my head spin, made my head feel dizzy and disoriented. It made me feel like I was losing myself. Made me feel like I was being choked. Made me feel stuff. But you know what? We stand our ground, and we continue to share love. And now it's like, it's too much. I can't do this. I can't. They have to back off. If I let myself say they're stronger than me or they're scarier, that now I become a student in their classroom. Then I can't do that, Stephen. If I can't do that because I'm here to help people. I'm here to help people overcome this experience. And so I have to stand my ground as well with love. I am getting you out of here and like taking the shackles off. That was enough. You're really exhausted right now, and it just goes and pushed everybody away. They're all invisible. Like they're all like, I don't see any faces here. I'm still in that room, and I'm just lifting you up, and I'm just carrying you out of here. God, you're exhausted. You need rest really bad. You need rest really bad. It's just your body is so tired. This is not what life is supposed to be about. Life isn't supposed to be like this. Life is supposed to be about childhood innocence and happiness and love. Why is life about this? Why am I experiencing something that nobody in this world really, like the whole world is cut off from having a clue how to help people with a situation, and most of the time they're going to think you're lost your marbles. Because it is, the spiritual experiences are just that they're We don't want to go there. We don't want to talk about alien beings. We don't want to talk about, alternative spiritual experiences. A lot of people just want to go to work, eat their dinner, and go to bed. Go to work, eat their dinner, and go to bed, and that's all it's ever going to be. And billions of people are like this. And so when we have 1 million people out of 8 billion people, or maybe even 100,000 people out of 8 billion people, like, that are having these experiences, the world is just like, they are obviously needing to go to a mental institution because that's not normal. That just doesn't happen to people. Well, that's because we're so cut off from the spiritual side of the infinite universe because of science, because what we see then is what is real. What we don't see is not real. But it's changing. It's slowly changing. We're slowly starting to become more open-minded to the invisible as a powerful force. And the invisible is energy. The invisible is spirit consciousness. The invisible is interdimensional beings. The invisible is angels. The invisible is prayer. The invisible is sacredness, love, freedom. Freedom, the energy of freedom is also an invisible force, and it's powerful. Courage is an invisible force. You could say, well, that's an emotion. That's a thought or an idea. That's a communication, a courageous communication. Well, it's actually an energy. And we bring that energy into our life experience and we experience the energy. But the energy actually is a frequency. We work with that frequency. So, I'm doing all of this communication here with your energy body as you're lying in a bed. What do I do? You're just so exhausted. You're pale. There's an awful orb of energy around you. I open it up kind of like an Easter egg. Oh. I'm disconnecting plugs from your head. I'm giving you a space from which to rest. There's angels here. They're watching over you. There's a little child that gives you a kiss on your hand while you're sleeping. This little boy really loves you a lot, is worried about you. Gives you a kiss on the head. Is sad, but is hopeful and loves you very much. Your energy bodies are so they're so zippy zappy and splattered zaps, and they need new processing of what normal balance is. Fear stuff is so freaking extreme. I mean, how it affects the body. Love is just so inviting, so healing. I'm working with love frequency in order to heal these zaps. There's millions of them. Like, your whole head is like, like memory, thought, fear, worry. Can I rest? Oh my God, what am I gonna do? What is my life gonna change? It's like millions of them just go like that in your head as you're trying to rest. And not just the head, but everything else is like so lost. Because what is going on in the mental body is like everything else feels drained, feels exhausted, feels like it's just, where is its purpose? It's sort of exhausted in its purpose. This is very odd, but you're looking like you have one head in one direction attached to your heads looking in another direction. And then your body, it's like your two bodies connected at the spine. This is very interesting. I've only seen this one other time, and I just recently saw an image of this kind just like this. I just don't know why you would have another version of yourself connected at your spine looking in the totally opposite direction. You want to get turned around, you say. You want to feel turned around. Oh, gosh. So I do. I just sort of rotate you around and into your body so you're turned around. I gotta get this chunky goop, still very dense. It's very suffocating. It's hard to breathe. I mean, how are you living your life if you are not even you're like owning your own body? So now you have to have, like, how do you live your life? I don't know. Gosh. Removing junk, energy junk out of the top of the head. I gotta do something to open all this stuff up and make you colorful again. But your body also needs rest, and through rest, it becomes colorful naturally. So I also gotta be kind of like, I can't just add ingredients. Like, I need to allow for uh, allow for an energy rest. Like this energy rest, maybe it's just 20 minutes, but really it's 3 days or something. So we're creating the experience of energy rest, which would just expand it out. It doesn't need to just be 3 days, it could be 3 years of just relaxing and recuperating, recovering, sleeping, resting, taking it really super easy. Man, this part of you just says I'm too tired, and I'm tired of struggling to breathe, and I just want to sleep, as in not wake up again. I just want to sleep. This is also connected to another space very similar, but you're laying in a bed and there's like a metal bracket on your head and around your torso. Ugh. It's really, the frequency is really like swimming in mud and muck and stench and garbage, liquid trash. It stinks. So it's energetically really just like that. So I'm just doing my thing here to release that, but it's very dense. So we're just getting through the layers here. You're just, it's honestly hard to do work in this energy space because of how affected the mental body is. I experience you. And so I experience being totally this exhausted in the mental body, and I experience the energy frequency of this place, and it is very disorienting on an extreme level. Very, very exhausting. It's like being drowned and then get brought back up to get air, and then drowned and then brought back up to get air, and it's just barely sustainable. It's very dense, very hard to stay focused because it's so the exhausted energy. I feel like I could fall asleep in here. So I gotta stay with it. It's really, this one has a association with the emotional body, like a hose or a tube connected there. So exhausting. So hose connected to mental body, on the back side and then above the head. It's like a hose goes into like the back of the neck and then goes downward, but then it creates hoses into all these other energy bodies, but it's connected to the spine too. And then it just goes down the legs and then it connects into the earth. I ask the spirit realm, is this your higher self, my higher self, angels, all this love consciousness to enter into this space, because one of the ingredients that is missing is loving support. And this does not need to, this loving support is going to help. I'm trying to bring them in closer, but there's just such a energy field that's an orangish color associated with this specific space, associated with the bigger umbrella picture of what you're going through. It's just keeping us from getting in, but it's like an orange orb. You're on the inside, all this, this cap and the hoses and everything around the torso, the stinkiness, this drowning effect, the sleepy effect, the exhausted, is all inside of here. There's so many of us, but it's just slowly coming off. There's hopelessness in here. There's I want to let go in here. Am I healing? Am I healing what was, Stephen? Am I healing? Is this how you feel right now, or is this how you had felt? And you're you're starting to recover? So I'm healing what is post-traumatic stress type stuff, or is this exactly how you feel right now? You tell me I can't get out of here. It's interesting because it looks kind of like this orange orb is starting to look kind of like a planet, and I was thinking of Jupiter, but then it started to get rings and it looks kind of like Saturn. I tell you again, you can get out of here, Stephen. 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 Big hands come down, and then they sort of twist and open this orb or planet, and you're on the inside like a little toy on the inside of like a, I don't know, like an Easter egg, I guess, but there's other things that have toys inside of them too. But for instance, this is related to outer space planets. Even when there's an opening here, the orangey haze still lingers, and you feel like you can't see any way out. Even though I see that you're literally right at the edge, you could just walk a few more steps and you'll be out. You show me your perspective, and it's like a desert, dried up desert in every direction. And you're the only one here, and there's no way out. It's very, very exhausting. Your consciousness is telling me over and over again, I can't get free, I can't get free, I can't get free. And it just succumbs to the experience. I look at all the people, we're all still standing here watching you, and we're just, I'm like, I don't know. I'm waiting for them to, They smile at me. They say, Abby, do you wish you could reprogram Stephen's mental body? And I say, I want Stephen to remember what normal feels like. To be given the gift of memory of normal, it would actually help him to overcome this, because there's something of forgetting what normal balance actually energetically is like. Makes it very difficult to work your way back, as in work your way forward back into normal. But it's like, when will normal ever be? Even if this were to go away today, what would normal even look like 5 years from now? Like, you're never going to be the same. I tell them that I tell them that there's a reason for everything. So there are no pattern changes. There's no shift in the pattern. There is a solution to this. So the solution has not manifested yet. Why has the solution not manifested yet? Because it's not time to manifest yet. There's something Stephen has to learn how to conquer this in a certain unique way. Like, why can't this just go away? Now your consciousness shows me yourself, you're blue, and you're sinking down into the ground, and you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper and getting swallowed up. I'm gonna do something. I've got to do something different here. I grab the version of you that is getting swallowed up. I grab this orange version of you. I grab another version of you that is still in that version with the spotlight. Grab that. I'm letting this part of you sleep. So I'm just pulling all these parts of you up into heaven. But when I try to pull them up, there's strings attached. And you're like, I go up with you, but then you slip out of my hands and go like really fast back to those places again. They just... All right. So they're telling me that it's one of those hard conversations, like, if this didn't happen, then you wouldn't be the same extraordinary soul. This happens, and this makes you an extraordinary soul. So there's something about, we can't just... It would be like having a baby and then taking away the baby's growth and development period. It doesn't have to, it's taking away the experience of having diapers and learning how to roll over and crawl and then walk, and then we'll just let the baby now be like an adult. So it's like to a phase where it doesn't have to learn anything, but that just doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. So when extreme events happen, the soul is having these extreme events in order to learn something. So we can't actually take that away. We can't take that away because you hold the key to getting out of this. And the key has something to do with, you have got to use your psychic ability, because you're already psychic. You're already experiencing this stuff. You have the psychic ability to look and see what they look like, to walk towards them, to say, I'm done with you, and to do this as many times as it takes until you don't have to do it anymore. Until you've closed off your spiritual atmosphere completely in the way that is balanced. Because we should have like the freedom to communicate with love in an infinite universe. So some people go through traumatizing events and they're scared, so they actually block love out through fear, and then they close themselves in. A lot of people do that. Just everyday Joes do this all the time. They got their heart broken and now they don't want to let anybody in, but they don't want to let angels in either. They don't want to let anybody in. So there's something about this. We need to have a balanced, open spiritual atmosphere, not an open spiritual atmosphere that now you're vulnerable. Nobody's ever vulnerable unless you're meant to have that experience, because you're meant to experience vulnerability. I'm gonna step back for a minute because this is as far as I can go right now, but there's got to be something else I can do. Just a moment. I'm actually just gonna just take a minute here. Okay. I'm telling the spiritual universe, I'm saying Stephen wants to be reborn today. Stephen wants to be reborn today because Stephen is tired and doesn't want to deal with this anymore. Therefore, he's saying, please, I'm done. Or is it time for Stephen to be reborn in a way that this is now free from his soul pathway or journey? What is the essence of the rebirth? And I want to give this to Stephen today. Would Stephen believe it if he knew that love was around him all the time? Would Stephen believe that love was there? Or would Stephen believe that love has left him and the only thing that is there is tyrants, energetic tyrants feeding off his spiritual atmosphere? She says, this would be like my higher self says to you, you've got to start thinking differently, and you've got to start acknowledging that love is all around you. You have to start trusting, believing, and knowing that. She gives you something. I don't know, it's some sort of piece of paper, and she hands it to you. There's a list of instructions. She says she's giving you an energetic download that is positive. It is going to feed into you new ideas. And she says you can close the door on this when you're ready. But she says the human version of you will say, I'm ready. It was saying you were ready even a while ago. It would still continue to say, I'm ready. How many people say I am ready when they're in their worst of times? They're ready for it to go away in their worst of times, and it doesn't go away year after year after year. In fact, it could get worse. But they're just so done. They're so ready for this to go away. But is it their time yet? So she's handing you instructions or insights on what you're missing in order to alleviate or fully free yourself from this experience. She says, do you believe you have the power? Do you believe you have the power to take this experience away from yourself? Or do you believe that only a psychic could do it for you, and so you learn nothing from the experience? You learn how the experience will bring you down, but you don't learn how to conquer it through facing your fear, through psychic ability and gifts, and now you've raised your vibration beyond your wildest dreams. That is the newborn now learning how to roll over and walk and stand and now run, how to crawl and then stand and then walk and then run. She says you have to see this as a positive experience and not a negative one, and you have to bring the experience into yourself and start getting stronger. What are they feeding off of? They're feeding off of your weakness, and your weakness is coming from your fear. So if you own it, if you own this experience and say, it's an energy experience, it's not a human experience, it's an energy experience. And so you can't treat it like a human experience. In the human world, we would have a way of dealing with a psychopath in some way or another. Maybe we couldn't really deal with it. They would be dealing with us, but there's a human experience related to a human tyrant interaction. But a spiritual tyrant interaction is different. How is that even possible? How is it even possible that we can have a spiritual tyrant interaction experience on a physical plane? A spiritual experience that we feel on a physical plane. How is that even possible? It happens to people. It totally happens to people who are already psychically open to interdimensional communication. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people aren't open to interdimensional communication, but you are. And so now, as an interdimensional communicator, you have got to do it in another dimensional experience. Not in the human world, trying to fight off an energy, invisible being, but as an energy being going to the energy being. And you can very easily project your consciousness as an energy being to these energy beings, face them, and follow your heart in the experience, because this isn't war. This is simply saying, no, simply standing your ground without judgment, without hate, without fear. It might feel very fearful, but you can stand your ground, and that shows strength. And that inner strength, it overpowers that. And you continue to stand your ground, and you say, I'm not doing it anymore. Even if you're like, that's still communicating no in the energy world. And the fact that you're standing your ground and just saying, no, and that's it, that actually is saying something. That is actually doing something beyond anything you have done yet. They're not going to give up on you. The spirit realm is not going to give up on you. The spirit realm knows that you can figure this out. The spirit realm knows that you can do this. And I'm telling you, Stephen, either A, this is exactly the instructions. You have got to learn techniques, and you need to face them. Because I could remove them all day long, but I'm never going to quite remove them, because that's part of you. It's part of you. And so you have to remove them. Some people, it is like that because it's their learning journey, and the learning journey is to enlighten and empower, because we're going through human awakening, and we need people like you. And so you're going through this traumatizing event to make you stronger, so you can teach people how to overcome that as well, as they start to wake up and then discover some really jacked up weird thing happens. But this is not something to be afraid of. Like, this doesn't happen to many people. Like, this is still a very, the majority does not ever have a clue what this is or what this feels like, and won't ever know. Even when they wake up, they can wake up into love, and that's all they ever know, and they never run across this ever, because their spiritual atmosphere is only communicating on one frequency, and it's not for them. It's just simply not for them. So I tell people, they're like, but if I open my third eye, could I be attacked? And it's like, well, if it's meant to be for you, for your soul's learning journey, but attack is the wrong word. It's called empowerment. So you learn how to overcome that experience, and now you become stronger than it. And now you can do what I do for a living, for instance, and help people get beyond this. But Stephen, I think after being in your spiritual atmosphere, after having this conversation, after feeling this one out, you're one of those candidates where if we did like a psychic mentoring session, I could teach you how I can be there with you to support you and teach you how to go into the energy space. Literally, I will be able to teach you in one session. And I'll teach you how to go into the energy space, and I'm going to teach you, and I'll be with you to support you, so you can face them, and I'll teach you how to transform them, or teach you whatever the unique experience is for your soul, because it's going to feel different. It's going to look different for everybody. It's never going to be the same for anybody. Everybody's experience is totally different. So I'll work with your unique needs in order for you to face this and start getting a handle on it and start growing beyond it. The other way is, again, I'm seriously not meaning to advertise stuff, but I have got to give you self-empowerment tools, and I actually can give you those. Abbey, can give you those. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this world that can give you those too. But from what I know, we could do a psychic mentoring session together, or we could do a psychic like a psychic development on Patreon, on my Patreon site. And I have videos, even I think there's 4, maybe 5 videos out there now that I've shared, and even these first 5 videos are going to teach you everything you need to know. Like they're the beginner videos that are going to teach you everything you need to know. So videos from beyond this are teaching you even more technique on how to do what I'm teaching you in the first videos. So you would be able to teach yourself how to do this as well that way, which is like, it's just another option. But it's time for round 2 with this one. Round 1 is, shit, this is happening to me. Trying to feeling it out, experiencing it. It really sucks. Starting to adjust to it. I can't get it to go away. Doing some energy work to improve the situation. Feeling kind of like it's still lingering. Well, now we're getting kind of lost in it. So round 2 is, no, you're not going to get lost in this. Round 2 is, we're going to nip this in the bud. It's time for you to face it. It's time for you to discover what you're capable of. So much freaking positive energy around you. The thing is, it's weird because I'm telling you this and it feels like you just don't want that to be the answer. You just don't. They say you're ready. You can either live like this, which I wouldn't call this living, or you can discover something extraordinary about yourself and conquer this. So you can live on a higher level than you've ever known before. And you can have pride in yourself and glow inside and out on your own without fear. The hardest things to do with even with a post-traumatic stress type of frequency is to go back into what has caused it in the first place. And you have to stand there and you have to look at it and you have to feel it and you have to process it. So in your case, we've got to go to where these people are, these interdimensional beings are. We need to stand in their home world, and we need to look at them, and we need to have a conversation with them. And when we start to do that, you'll notice, you will actually feel it loosening up in your spiritual atmosphere, and it's going to get easier and easier and easier the more you face the fear. Everything's just getting really relaxed and quiet now. I'm disconnecting from your spiritual atmosphere. This energy work is actually going to give you a positive boost. And the message here is just driving it home about, it's about conquering this one through facing fear, self-empowerment, not letting it control you or own you, but getting in control of it. And it's going to help your soul grow and expand in a way that your soul actually wants it to. So on the human level, it really sucks. But on this higher self level, it's like, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. The higher self is really cheering you on, is really positively supporting you through this. But the higher self needs this experience for its totality. But either it can get lost in it, or it's the ultimate challenge. To either get lost in it or to conquer it. So is it time to conquer it or is it time to get lost in it? If I conquer it for you, then I'm not giving your soul what it is asking. Your soul is asking to learn how to conquer it itself. But even still, there's a part of you that is in a state of rest and it's soaking up a lot of love energy. I've removed you from that other space. So that other space has no control over you. So you're hanging out in here, relaxing. We've opened up the planet so we can see you. You're free to connect with love now. Love is all around you, supporting you. But you have to say in your heart, in your soul, in your gut, and in all that you are in your being, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. it's just all winding down. So that's all I can share, Stephen. But thank you so much for this experience. Just coming back into my body here, disconnecting from your spiritual atmosphere. So I'm a little bit kind of dizzy. There was a lot of like deep energies, some hard ones to get through. There was some very loud, disorienting ones that have disconnected. This is going to give you an opportunity to get onto the other side of this. All right. I want to thank you again for exploring this session and for being open-minded to sharing. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in exploring a soul rebirth journey with me or anything, any psychic session, I do all kinds of stuff. And we can explore anything going on in your spiritual atmosphere. Whether you have a direct request or you don't, I'll be able to go into your spiritual atmosphere and actually analyze or experience what is your energy balance and how it's communicating, and then share some insights into you and how to empower yourself, or how to grow and to heal and to expand and to ascend. So if you're interested, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful day.